Astronauts report it feels good. 10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
No mai, haere mai ki Sunrise Aotearoa. Ko Samoa ngā hau, no Penang o ko tipuna, I tipu aki au ki ahi tareiria, e noho ana au ki tamaki makaurau. Ko tēnā taku mihi ngā tangata whenua o Torohi nei. Ka mihi hoki au ki ngā tohu o Torohi nei. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. My name is Sam Wong. I'm a partner at Blackbird Ventures, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all today. Blackbird is an investor in wild hearts with wild ideas right from the very beginning. A wild heart is someone who is doing their life's work, and they're often more hungry than proven. A wild idea is a vision so charismatic, it becomes a honeypot for the best people, the best employees, the best investors, the best partners. And all of that bestness cultivates the luck that's required to make startups succeed on an enormous scale. 3 years ago, I stood on this very stage and announced that we were raising our first dedicated Kiwi fund of $30 million. I was moving my British-Australian family over with a 3-month-old to a foreign land where, frankly, everyone was more or less a stranger. Not a super easy thing to do, but I had this very, very deep conviction that just across the proverbial ditch was this Galapagos island of ambitious, highly original, resourceful founders that just had far too little money available to them to supercharge their ideas. Timing, as they say, is everything in life, and though it wasn't an easy decision, I felt that even a year later might have been too late. So 3 years on, it definitely feels like it's time to update you on how we're going. It's been a very busy 3 years. We've raised $140 million. We've invested just over 100 million. And this is actually old. We've invested in 29 companies, not 27, in everything from B2B SaaS to IoT, and of course Web3. Those companies employ thousands of people, and many of them are here today. So those are the numbers, but not everything can be reduced to a number. Along the way, I have learned so many things about Kiwi founders since embarking on this Aotearoa adventure. The first one is number 8 wire mentality is real. I will be honest and say I had no idea what number 8 wire was when I first moved here. And the first time I heard it, I had to Google it. And of course, Wikipedia, font of all wisdom, advised me that number 8 wire was this type of fencing wire that became ubiquitous in New Zealand from the mid-19th century onwards. And it was used really inventively to fix all manner of mechanical and structural problem. And it's since sort of entered the lexicon and become a symbol of the ingenuity and resourcefulness of Kiwi founders and their ability to kind of create something out of very, very minimal materials to hand. In a startup context, the number 8 wire shows up in a few different ways. The first is a can-do attitude that refuses to give up even when the first obstacle is encountered or the 10th. It pursues obvious and less obvious paths until they're exhausted. The second way it shows up is this scrappy resourcefulness, which means that Kiwi companies often make a dollar go much further. They achieve much more with less than companies built elsewhere. And Kiwi founders, above all else, think from first principles and don't distrust an idea just because at first blush it seems crazy or even stupid. Autonomously controlled cows. inflatable solar-powered satellites in space, hydrofoiling passenger ferries. A Kiwi founder thinks, yeah, seems like it's worth a go. Second thing I've learned since moving here is this amazing tikanga Māori concept of mana. If you look it up in a Māori dictionary, which I had to do, the first time I heard it, I saw it defined as prestige, authority, control, power, influence, status, spiritual power, charisma. Mana is a supernatural force in a person, place, or object. We talk about investing in wild hearts. To me, mana captures in one word the essence of what a wild heart founder is. Founders with mana have this quiet confidence and magnetize the best people to them. They build this trust through their actions, not just their words. They're not always the oldest or more experienced person in a particular setting, but they really do leave a lasting impression and create that reality distortion field that Steve Jobs was known to have that allows great work to be done. And they're very ambitious and they inspire excellence in others. The third thing I've really learned is the best Kiwi founders are not in it for the boat, the batch, and the BMW, which is another great phrase I've learned since moving here. Their startup is their kaupapa. It's their gift to the world. The why behind their startup runs very, very deep, sometimes into their childhood or woven throughout their life story. And it connects them to the problem that they are trying to solve in a very profound way. And it's why they don't give up at the first obstacle or the 10th or the 100th. A founder recently said to me this line, which I think is so beautiful: creating something you believe in is a privilege. Founders fulfilling their kaupapa really embody this. They're obsessed with impact that makes an impact over decades. They religiously measure product engagement and obsess about customer problems and customer love. And delivering on their kaupapa gives them this sense of satisfaction and joy. I think kaupapa is also reflected in how they build their company. It's reflected in how they hire, the people they let go, the behaviour they don't tolerate in their own companies, and the way they share success amongst their team members. Of course, all great qualities have their downsides. The Achilles heel of the number 8 why mentality is it keeps founders doing everything themselves for far too long. There is definitely a time for being resourceful and doing everything yourself, and there is a time for learning to scale yourself by bringing on the right people. And failing to do this at the right time can throttle a company's growth, and then the company doesn't get to fulfill its kaupapa. Startups are designed to grow very fast. The challenge is to deliver on a very big mission in a high integrity way without sacrificing this sense of urgency that startups need to have. Shared belief is a powerful compounding force. Here in this room, we get to believe in a beautiful vision of the future that we get to build. The goal of today, as of all Sunrise conferences, is to provoke you to reflect really deeply on what you're doing now in your life and then take some action. Is what you're doing now, will it matter 10 years from now? Are you moving as fast as you possibly could? Why not you? How can I help? So that's what I want to leave you with today. We're about to get stuck into the programming proper. Before we do that, of course, a little bit of housekeeping. If you haven't already, please download the Brella app. You will need to check the email you used to register for the conference today for your unique code. Just search Brella in your inbox and download that. Second is there's going to be opportunities for Q&A all throughout the day. We use Slido for that. There's a QR code on the back of your lanyard if you want to go ahead and scan that, have it ready. Otherwise, just go to sly.do and hit the code Sunrise in. Of course, none of this could be possible today without the support of our partners. They are AWS, Microsoft for Startups, Legal Vision, Stripe, NZTE, Law Squared, ASX, and Unyoked. Give them a round of applause, please. So we have 2 bits of programming before the first break at 11:10, and both of these speakers are going to talk about doing hard things. We start today with this provocation. Can Kiwi be the ones to solve the world's greatest problems? So founder and CEO of Halter, Craig Piggott, will explore this idea and how we might lean into those sorts of things. Having gotten to know Craig really well over the last couple of years, I can say with confidence, he is the kind of person who is simply not interested in doing things unless they are really, really hard. Growing up on a Waikato dairy farm probably taught him something about resilience and hard work very early. He went on to study engineering at the University of Auckland and joined Rocket Lab working directly for Peter Beck, which is probably a next level of hard yet again. He's now scaling his startup Halter from Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland, to the world. Please give a very warm round of applause for our first speaker, Craig Piggott.